What's going on? This is Chris Enriquez, and you're watching Revolver TV. We're hanging out with David from Disturbed. Thank you so much for dropping by today.
Good to be here, brother.
Absolutely. So you guys had a bit of a hiatus. I wanted to ask you about that. Like sort of if you could walk us through, what caused you guys to take a break, and I know everyone needs to do it, and then ultimately regroup again.
Well, the Disturbed machine had kind of become like an assembly line, and a little too machine-like. When you go through the process of make a record tour, it kind of starts to feel like you're punching a time clock,
Right,
in a
right.
way. And you're not creating when you're inspired, you're creating when it's time,
The record label says it's
Right.
time.
Well,
What's happening?
I mean,
Yeah.
truth be told, not to put any of the onus on them, because the label has never pressured us into anything. It's always been our own game, but we were kind of keeping that sort of pace. It wasn't anybody dictating it, so I
Right.
don't want to blame them per se.
Oh no, yeah.
But it definitely can be stifling to creativity. It takes away any element of surprise or making, when you do come back out, an
Right.
event.
Spontaneity.
Right.
Yeah.
You become predictable.
Right. Right.
And so people know they can get a record from you every other year. They know they
Yeah.
can see you on tour every other year. So it was starting to feel that way.
Yeah.
And it was starting to, just kind of drag on us a little bit. And we figured, you know what, let's step away now. The time is right, because we're headlining festivals all over the world. We're at the peak of our touring draw.
Right. Yeah.
You want to step away when you're at the top, not when you're starting
Four
to
consecutive
decline, right?
#1 records.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So that was when we decided to take that hiatus, and it was so unbelievably necessary for, I think, both the members of Disturbed and the fans of Disturbed.
Right.
I think it helped us as band members rediscover our love, for it, and gain a new level of appreciation for it.
Yeah.
Absence does, in fact, make the heart grow fonder.
Kind of bring it back to, why you guys did this in the first place together, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. To a certain extent. I mean, that. Don't get me wrong. We never have lost sight of that.
Yeah.
The reason we do this in the first place to begin with is just for that fix that we get when we're on stage. It's
well, that's
an addiction.
refreshing, because sometimes bands have been around for so long and they start to have that tension and start to pull apart a little bit. And,
you know what? Thankfully, we're blessed enough that the only reason this band came back together is because we wanted to,
right?
Not because we needed to,
right?
And
that's great.
So it's only about the passion for the music. It's only about our addiction to the live experience, and the simple fact that nothing can replace it.
Yeah.
So
it's really important. Yeah.
We were just chomping at the bit to get back out there.
Yeah. And so what was, who took the first step, and said, you know what, I think it's time. Was it?
It wasn't any one person that said, hey, let's. It basically started with Danny coming to visit me in Texas. In Austin, Texas, when about January of 2014.
Okay, yeah.
And he came to see the baby. And baby, he hadn't had a chance to see my son yet. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And so he came out, and we just started talking about it very briefly. Like, you feeling the itch yet? And, I said, yeah, I kind of am. And so in March, I went to Chicago with the whole family.
Okay,
and sat down with Danny and his family. Mike came up from Milwaukee, and we all had dinner together. And our manager,
of a
Jeff.
natural hangout. Let's all see each other.
Yeah, and that's when we kind of carried those conversations further. And it was only maybe 3-4 weeks later that I got my first batch of material from Dan to start listening to and to start trying to create some things for.
Yeah.
Just some rough progressions, and I was busting my head on them for the better part of a month, and kind of was hitting a wall. Not that I wasn't coming up with ideas creatively, but I wasn't trusting them.
Right.
Yeah, I was being very, very
critical,
overly critical of my own stuff. I can be very helpful to other people when it's someone else's work, and I can look at it completely objectively.
Yeah.
But when it's mine, it's really hard to remove myself from the equation, and I can come up with 20 ideas and not realize that Three or four of them are really epic.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I said to him, you know what, dude, let me come out to Chicago and let's do this on the fly. Let's do this in person. Let me throw these ideas at you and Mike as I'm thinking of them, and you guys will be my barometer.
Right, like in a natural sense, just like you would,
Well, just like we did in the beginning.
That's what I was going to get at,
That's kind of the key.
Getting together with your guys in a basement or wherever you practice and just sort of taking it back to the core.
You can't replace that chemistry that exists between us. I mean, it was so amazing to rediscover that.
Yeah.
It was inspiring for all of us, because
it's
every time we got
important,
into a room, great stuff was coming.
Yeah. And that's the secret, I think, to longevity, which you guys have.
Yeah. I'll tell you, we'll never do it any other way. After years and years of relying on technology and sending music files back and forth across the country, me in Austin, Texas, Dan still in Chicago, Mike now lives outside of Milwaukee. It was nice to have it just be human. And real and organic, and to have that instant reaction.
Right.
So
can you tell us, like, I mean, I have the new record. I got the Advance. It's got that classic sound, but it's also got an evolution to it, which is important. And your new single, Vengeful One, what made you pick that particular song and release it as a single? Tell us a little bit about that and the new record in general.
Well, let's start with the song itself. With the Vengeful One, we wanted to pick a song that still had everything that everyone who is a core Disturbed fan loves about Disturbed,
right?
But pushes the envelope slightly. We didn't want to give people too much culture shock right out of the gate, because as you know from listening to this record, there are several left turns. And I think it's gonna, I think some people are going to love it. Some people aren't. In that perspective.
Well, it is something that you kind of need to do. To
you know what, dude? I think that all we can ever do as a group is follow our gut and follow our creative instinct and do what we feel resonates within ourselves. And every step of the way during the creation of this record, we were inspired. And we felt like we were doing the right thing.
And it's still heavy as hell, dude. It is.
There are definitely incredibly heavy moments, whether it's the title track Immortalized, or whether it's the first single, or whether it's tracks like What Are You Waiting For, or God, I'm forgetting, Open Your Eyes. I mean, there's so many, but those are all kind of classic Disturbed feel heavier tracks. But there's definitely left turns. So I think that they're good ones. I think that they show us going into uncharted territory for us. And we needed to do that at this point.
You have to take your fans on somewhat of a different journey every time you come back out.
There's definitely something to be said about the AC/DC mentality.
Yeah, I mean, that's true also.
But I think that it was definitely time for us to kind of step outside of our at least perceived comfort zone.
So the Vengeful One, you also have a music video out right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's all Phil Mucci's vision. I don't have anything to do with it, other than him basing his vision upon the meaning of the song. So the meaning of the song is that it's, at least in my mind, a fantastic notion, and I'm not trying to insult anybody that actually may have these beliefs, because if you do, God bless you. But it's about the angel Gabriel, the archangel Gabriel, the right hand of God, the dark Messiah, the destroyer,
the angel of death,
who is looking over the world, and it's coming to a point where judgment must be cast, and it's the end of days, and look at our planet, look at the chaos that goes on, look at people preying upon one another, look at the media fueling the flames of war all over the face of this planet. And so he decided to make the guy, our mascot, the embodiment of the Archangel Gabriel in the video. And
it's a rad video.
Thank you.
And, I'm sure everybody out there in YouTube land has seen it by now, but,
pretty amazing. What did we have? I think 1 million views in the first day, 4 million in within 3 weeks. I mean, it's cooking. So,
Well, what can we expect in the near future in terms of touring and, What do you guys have planned right now? I'm sure there's a lot of festivals and a headlining tour.
Nothing confirmed yet.
Really?
Well, the thing is that when
Okay.
you keep something a secret for so long, you can't exactly plan for it.
Right, and I guess maybe you have some things up your sleeve that we will have to keep on our toes
Well,
for.
definitely. Right now, the only thing that is been announced is the day of release show in Chicago at the House of Blues.
Yes, that's right.
We will be announcing an additional string of dates as soon as we have all of the details finalized.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly when that will be. I'm hoping that we get the chance to do it before the release of the record.
Great.
So.
Well, everybody can check out revolvermag.com for details. We'll have those posted with the interview, and also the latest issue of Revolver Magazine on stands right now. We actually have a great feature on these guys, so it's a really good candid look on what you guys have going on. But
Cool.
thank you so much for dropping by here today.
Thanks for
Did you
having
want
me.
to drop any last words for our audience here?
Just that we can't wait to get back out there and do what we're dying to do, and we look forward to seeing those crowds.
Right on.